Hello everyone, welcome to today's hilarious movie time. The story today will open your eyes. Let the Cannes red carpet first bow down for a young girl, but such childhood experiences carved an unhealable scar deep in her heart, causing the outside world to perceive her forever stuck in a misrepresented symbol of beauty. Today's recommended movie is the story of the Goose girl. In 1917, a 12-year-old girl watched her mother give birth in New Orleans brothel. A broken figure, mixed with sweat, soaked the sheets, revealing the pain of childbirth. This also gave the innocent girl the vague but heavy awareness of the true nature of her environment, until the newborn's cry echoed. She snapped back to reality, wanting to share the news with others, only to bump into someone busy at work, who gestured her to not disturb. The girl glided down the stairs, light-footed like a fairy wandering into a bustling party. The girls, dressed to the nines, laughed unabashedly with their guests, their bare skin glowing under the candlelight. Desire and transactions flowed here day and night. This brightly lit building is a sinful city to others, but to her, it was the only home. She often wore a thin lace dress, weaving through guests, quietly noting the charming tricks of the girls. When her mother was out, she stealthily slid into some sultry stockings, striking seductive poses on the bed, memorizing all the charm she sought to etch into her very being. She never felt ashamed about it, or perhaps she simply had no idea what shame even meant. Living innocently and happily in this chaotic, tacky world, until an outsider suddenly crashed in, shattering her self-esteem. The man was named Locke. He arrived in this party town, but wasn't here to play. He simply begged the old boss to let him take some pictures. The old boss had no knowledge of art, let alone photography, but as the other party was willing to pay extra, he promptly agreed. Locke chose Heidi as the model. No clothes off, no hair or makeup needed, just be herself in front of the camera. Watching on the side, the girl got curious and started directing her mother, unintentionally annoying the photographer. Heidi often claimed to outsiders that the girl was her sister, and the girl never backed down from countering her. During the bickering, a familiar guest unexpectedly stormed out. She didn't remember giving Heidi the jade earrings and cursing her as a thieving harlot. But what harlot is ever gentle? It all escalated quickly. The girl was truly at a loss for words, and her mother didn't dare to speak either. It was a real awkward silence. Her mother dared not speak, and the girl stood in the corner, laughing at the chaos as her mother wrestled with the guest. Growing up in a brothel, she had no standards of ethics or morality, just pure amusement. Women in the brothel were quite superstitious. No matter the occasion, they would always bring in a fortune teller for advice. Soon to reach adulthood, the girl was no exception either. Her legs were painted with different colors of paint. After the fortune teller touched her, she was predicted to have an extraordinary fate, attracting many men. Suddenly, a commotion outside. The photographer was back in action. A generous guest was rare, but one as gentlemanly as him was even harder to come by. The girls were giggling and playfully encircling her with ridicule, but Locke consistently maintained his distance from them. His original intention was to return yesterday's photos to the sea, imagine that, but unexpectedly intercepted by the girl as the photo paper developed. The girl froze in place, her mother gazing at the camera in the photo. Her mother had a gentle demeanor she had never seen before, and in that moment, she felt an inexplicable emotion toward the photographer. Everyone is well aware that this isn't true. Naturally, she hoped I could take photos like her, and I could save her picture in my phone. How on earth did you manage to do that? Is it some kind of magic? I just need a second, he said under the hazy lights. Tamura's heavily drunk guests suddenly shouted loudly. They even raised their weapons and fired into the air. Everyone around was trembling in fear. Only one girl in the corner silently picked up her wolf's head. Hi there, Pagodo. What are you doing here? Oh my, Heidi rushed down the stairs, recognizing the unconscious man as a regular guest. Even though this man often caused trouble when drunk, he treated her pretty well privately, yet the old boss was completely indifferent to it. She glanced at the greedy figure of the guest, efficiently directing her lackeys to empty his pockets. Then she unceremoniously tossed him onto the street, and Heidi couldn't tolerate the old boss' actions, rushing back to pack her things. She was set on leaving with the man. She was tired of this nerve-wracking lifestyle, not knowing when she'd catch something nasty. Ignoring others' mockery, Heidi picked up her little one, preparing to run away with her daughter. Unexpectedly met with fierce resistance from her daughter, who calmly took her little brother into the room amidst the heated standoff. The chaotic values made her struggle to understand Heidi's plight, only seeing her mother as a sad daughter at this moment. She was completely bewildered, entirely at a loss. Her heart is still deeply perplexed, caught in total confusion. She only felt that her mother's breakdown at this moment was just an ordinary farce unfolding. With fine wine and lovely ladies, the sultry jazz flowed slowly in the lights while the photographer felt like an outsider. Staring blankly, the girl noticed the lady in a white dress approaching her. Yet she just stood quietly in the corner, letting him misinterpret her intentions in naive malice. She asked a few questions. I don't need to explain to kids, I'm no child. Sorry, that is solely your opinion. Does isolate me? The girl twisted Locke's avoidance into a metaphor to provoke him. To stir his emotions, she deliberately sat on the lap of a stranger. With her coy demeanor, she invited the man to take advantage of the situation. The girls with heavy makeup exchanged their okie pound suggestive pan-polite smiles with each other. The old boss, with a grim expression, watched it all, leaning in to whisper to the guest. The guest jerked back and loosened his grip immediately upon hearing him. No, that is not my style. I was merely joking. This entire farce sent giggles erupting from the man in the corner.